ideal class size for me is 12 students in a mild, moderate, not severely handicapped class. 2 years ago, when I was out on maternity leave, they capped my class at 12 students because I was leaving. And in that year, I was able to move more students into a less restrictive environment. I was able to provide real small group instruction with 4 to 6 kids. I was able to mainstream kids and actually meet with their teachers and talk with them and plan. I did all my IEPs on time. I was able to communicate with parents in a way that I should have been. I was able to communicate with other service providers the way that I should be doing. Overall, I was able to do my job the most effectively that I've ever done. The prior year, I had 18 students on my caseload, and I wasn't able to do nearly half of what I was able to do that year, and I haven't been since.
The ideal caseload size would be 10 to 12. This year, I have my students who I'm case managing, but I also have a few 8th graders who I'm mainstreaming a lot. And I find that throughout the day, it's hard for me because I'm in the classroom all day for me to go out and manage my students who are outside the classroom. So now I have to go out and look and contact those teachers and then speak with those teachers and make sure that they're getting all their work turned in, they're getting their work modified, that they're attending IEP meetings. That is compounded by other students who have much more severe needs, who I have to then manage their casework. I think 12 is the ideal, 12, 13. I feel like with 12 or 13 and with an 8, I can do whole group instruction, but then I'm also able to really target areas of need, and then we have smaller groups that that are much more manageable to target the specific area of need. It's about prioritizing what we want to afford. When we have a budget, there's certain things that we can afford, and what you put into your budget is what you value. And what we see time and again is very similar to the way that corporations fund, right? It's very similar. Is that this district values high-level staff, right? That's what they value. That's what we boost up their salaries. We overinflate our management. And it's very similar to the way corporations work. And that's where our values are right now in this district. And so I think that's the first place we should start thinking about.
I'd look at the chief executive officer and the deputy director and the chief director and the chief deputy and this and that person that I meet from our central offices. And I think that if all of those people who have credentials were in the classroom teaching, and or those positions were eliminated because they're not essential to educating students, that we could come up with the money that we need. And additionally, I think that if the district put real pressure on the state to forgive the loan that was imposed upon them, that we would have more funds to decrease special ed and general ed class sizes.
Yeah, so every year we pay $6 million on a debt that we took under the state administrator. So the state administrator came in, they were in charge of our school, and they took out a loan and put our district into a deeper debt. And I would really hope that the district would really, take a hard stand and make sure that we get our debt forgiven, because if the state doesn't cover that, it's Oakland students and families that are going to hurt.
We need a school board that's willing to hold the decision makers in the school district accountable, and is really looking closely at all the monies that they approve through contracts, through positions that are created, through positions that are recreated. We have to get parents more involved. We have to let them know that these are democratically elected positions and they have a right to demand that their school board members represent them. It's a representative democracy.
It's going to take a lot of parents and a lot of community members advocating openly. I think it's going to take opening bargaining, where we're bargaining and it's public bargaining, so that the public can see what's really going on in contract fights.
We have to hold firm. If we say that in our next contract we want hard caps, that's it. We don't care what percent of increase the salary we get. We don't care whatever is thrown at us. That has to be our bottom line, and everybody has to be on the same page that we will strike if we do not get hard caps in our next contract. Because when it's in the contract and it can be enforced, then magically it happens. It's the only way that we have any say in how the school district is run. And if we're not willing to strike for it, we shouldn't even put it on the bargaining table.